Ladies and gentlemen, life is not a game, yet so many of us live as if it were. We chase temporary wins, seek shortcuts, and forget that real life doesn't offer a reset button. But what if I told you that the choices you make today could define your future in ways no game ever could? Imagine playing a game where every move matters, where there are no extra lives, and every decision shapes your destiny. That game is life, and unlike the virtual world, here there are no do-overs. You've mastered games with rules, strategies, and points, but have you ever stopped to think that life has its own unique challenges? Life is not a game, and the stakes are far higher. Let's explore why. Imagine a world where every decision you make determines your future. A world where there are no reset buttons, no extra lives, and no shortcuts to success. This world isn't part of a virtual reality or a video game. It's the real world. Life. We often hear people compare life to a game, but the reality is life is far more complex, far more challenging, and the stakes are far higher. Unlike in games where you can restart after failure, life doesn't afford us that luxury. Every choice, every failure, and every victory holds weight, shaping who we are and where we are headed. Why should you listen to this? Because understanding that life is not a game changes everything. It shifts how we approach challenges, how we perceive success, and most importantly, how we handle failure. Today, I'm going to take you on a journey that will change how you see your own life, a journey that might just be the wake-up call you've been waiting for. You won't want to miss this. Life, unlike a game, comes with a level of seriousness that cannot be easily dismissed. In games, we're often immersed in a world of make-believe, where our decisions, no matter how drastic or reckless, have little to no real-world consequences. If we fail a level, we can simply restart. If we make the wrong move, we can undo it or try again. The losses we experience in the game are temporary, and they don't shape our future in any meaningful way. This sense of comfort and security is part of what makes games enjoyable. They are safe spaces to take risks, explore, and experiment without the fear of permanent consequences. The stakes in life are real. Every decision we make, every action we take, and every failure we encounter has lasting consequences. These consequences not only affect us personally, but they also ripple outwards, impacting the people around us, our family, friends, colleagues, and even society at large. In life, when we make a poor decision, the fallout can be significant. Whether it's choosing the wrong career path, making a financial mistake, or neglecting relationships, the ramifications can stay with us for years, shaping our future in ways we may not have anticipated. For instance, consider the decision to pursue a particular career. In a game, choosing a certain path might lead to a temporary setback. Maybe your character struggles to gain experience points or achieve certain objectives. However, you can always change direction, switch to another class or skill set, and ultimately reach your desired outcome. In life, however, the choice of career is often far more consequential. The years spent pursuing a degree or training in a specific field represent not only time but also emotional and financial investment. If that path turns out to be unfulfilling or unsustainable, it's not as simple as pressing a reset button. Changing careers later in life can be difficult, costly, and stressful, especially if it means going back to school, starting at the bottom of a new field, or taking on additional debt. The stakes are real, and the consequences of that initial decision can echo throughout one's life. In relationships, the stakes are equally high. In a multiplayer game, if we make a mistake with a teammate or ally, we might experience temporary friction or lose a match. However, we can easily move on to the next round, reestablishing harmony or finding new allies. In life, relationships are far more fragile and intricate. A broken friendship, a damaged romantic relationship, or a fractured family bond can take years to mend if they can be mended at all. The emotional impact of losing someone close to us due to miscommunication, neglect, or betrayal isn't something that can be fixed with a few clicks or another try. The pain and regret that follow are often deep and lasting, reminding us that our actions in real life have far more serious implications than they do in any game. The societal impact of our decisions is something that often goes unnoticed but is just as significant. In games, we're typically focused on achieving personal objectives, completing quests, defeating enemies, or earning rewards. Our actions, while impactful in the game's world, rarely extend beyond our screen. However, in life, every decision we make contributes to the broader social fabric. Whether it's how we treat the environment, how we engage with our communities, or how we contribute to societal progress, our actions matter. For example, choosing to ignore climate change or neglecting civic responsibilities may not affect us immediately, but they have long-term consequences for future generations. Unlike a game where the world resets or the story ends after a few hours of play, the real world continues to evolve, and our actions or inactions shape the world that future generations will inherit. Even on a personal level, the stakes are much higher in life. Games offer us a way to escape reality and experience thrills without any lasting risk. You can climb to the top of a mountain in a game, defeat a horde of enemies, or race at breakneck speeds, all without any real danger to yourself. In life, however, taking risks comes with very real consequences. If we fail to take care of our health, the toll on our bodies is irreversible. Poor lifestyle choices such as neglecting exercise, eating unhealthy foods, or engaging in harmful habits can lead to chronic diseases and a diminished quality of life. The consequences are long-lasting and cannot simply be undone. Even financial decisions in life are serious. In games, money or in-game currency can be earned, spent and re-earned with ease. A poor investment in a game might cost you some progress, but you can always grind or replay to recover your losses. In real life, however, financial mistakes such as going into debt, making poor investments, or failing to save for the future can have devastating consequences that last for years, if not a lifetime. The anxiety, stress, and limitations that come with financial hardship are real, and they affect not only your own life, but also the lives of those who depend on you. Life stakes are serious because they involve irreversible time. Time once spent can never be recovered. In games, we have the luxury of pausing, restarting, or even extending playtime. But in life, every moment counts. The decisions we make today shape our tomorrow, and there's no going back to change what's already done. This is why life demands a level of seriousness and mindfulness that games simply do not. While games offer a temporary escape and a chance to engage in consequence-free decision-making, life's decisions are far more permanent and impactful. One of the most alluring aspects of games is the sense of control they offer. In the gaming world, you are often the master of your environment, the one calling the shots and guiding the narrative. You can control the movements of your character, plan strategies, and predict outcomes based on the rules of the game. This sense of control gives players a sense of power and agency, allowing them to believe they have full mastery over their destiny within the game's world. However, life, unlike games, doesn't operate under such straightforward rules. The control we think we have is often an illusion, as life presents us with countless unpredictable variables that can alter our course, regardless of our intentions or efforts. In a game, the environment and challenges are often carefully designed to provide a balance of difficulty and achievability. The game's developers ensure that while there are obstacles, players have the tools and opportunities to overcome them, giving them the satisfying feeling that they are in control of their progress. When you are faced with a difficult boss, you can study its attack patterns, develop strategies, and after enough attempts, succeed. You learn the rules of the game, and with time you can predict outcomes with reasonable accuracy. Games are designed this way to give players a sense of mastery and achievement. However, life operates under a much different framework. In life, we often think that if we follow a certain path or adopt a particular strategy, we can predict the outcome. For example, many people believe that if they work hard, follow the right steps, and make good decisions, success is inevitable. While there is truth to the idea that hard work and good choices increase our chances of success, life doesn't guarantee results. Unlike in games, where effort is directly rewarded with progress, life is filled with randomness and uncertainty. A person might work tirelessly for years in their career and still face setbacks due to factors beyond their control: economic downturns, corporate restructurings, or even personal health issues. These unpredictable events can disrupt even the most carefully laid plans, making it clear that life doesn't operate with the same level of predictability as a game. This unpredictability can be both frustrating and humbling. It reminds us that despite our best efforts, we are not fully in control of our circumstances. External factors, be they economic, social, or environmental, can have a profound impact on our lives, often in ways we couldn't have foreseen. For example, someone might save diligently for retirement, invest wisely, and plan for a comfortable future, only to have their savings wiped out by a financial crisis or an unforeseen medical emergency. Similarly, a student might work hard to earn top grades and secure a place at a prestigious university, only to face rejection due to circumstances beyond their control, such as changes in admissions policies or demographic shifts. These examples highlight how little control we sometimes have over the larger forces that shape our lives. Life often introduces unexpected variables that games don't account for, such as emotions, relationships, and personal growth. In games, the characters we control don't experience the full range of human emotions. They don't have to navigate the complexities of relationships or the struggles of personal development. In life, however, these variables are constantly at play, and they can dramatically alter our trajectory. For instance, a person might have a clear career path laid out, but an unexpected relationship or family responsibility might shift their priorities. A person's emotional state, mental health, or personal challenges can also impact their ability to achieve their goals. Unlike in games, where emotions are often sidelined or treated as secondary to the main objective, life demands that we navigate these internal struggles alongside external ones. The illusion of control is further shattered by the sheer unpredictability of life's events. We can plan meticulously, anticipate challenges, and do everything within our power to achieve success, but sometimes life throws us a curveball. A sudden illness, a natural disaster, or the loss of a loved one can derail even the most well thought out plans. These events remind us that in many ways we are at the mercy of forces far beyond our control. While we can influence our circumstances to some extent, we can never fully control them. This doesn't mean that we are powerless in the face of life's unpredictability. On the contrary, it means that our true power lies not in trying to control everything, but in learning to adapt to the things we cannot control. Unlike in games, where the objective is to master the environment and achieve a predetermined goal, life's objective is often to learn how to navigate uncertainty, cope with setbacks, and find meaning in the journey regardless of the outcome. In life, resilience, flexibility, and emotional intelligence are often more valuable than any amount of control or mastery. These qualities allow us to thrive in the face of uncertainty and adapt to whatever challenges life throws our way. Another key difference between games and life is that games operate within a set of defined rules. When you play a game, you know the boundaries, the mechanics, and the objectives. If you play by the rules, you can usually predict the outcome with a high degree of certainty. Life, on the other hand, has no such clear-cut rules. The rules of life are often ambiguous, changing based on cultural, social, and historical contexts. What works for one person might not work for another, and what is considered a success or failure can vary widely depending on one's perspective. This lack of universal rules makes life much harder to navigate than a game, where the objectives are clear and the paths to success are well defined. In life, we must come to terms with the fact that control is often an illusion. No matter how much we plan or prepare, there will always be factors outside of our control that influence the outcome of our efforts. This realization can be humbling, but it can also be liberating. When we accept that we cannot control everything, we free ourselves from the pressure to constantly succeed or achieve a specific outcome. Instead, we can focus on doing our best, learning from our experiences, and adapting to the circumstances as they arise. Life's unpredictability is what makes it both challenging and beautiful. While we may not have the same level of control that we do in a game, we have the opportunity to grow, learn, and evolve in ways that no game can offer. Life's challenges force us to become more resilient, more compassionate, and more adaptable. It teaches us that control is not the ultimate goal growth and learning are. And in that way, life offers rewards that are far more meaningful than any game could ever provide. In the world of games, mistakes are often trivial. When a player makes an error, whether it's losing a battle, missing a jump, or selecting the wrong option, the consequences are temporary. You can restart, reload, or try again, and within minutes you're back on track as if the mistake never happened. This flexibility in gaming provides a sense of safety and encourages experimentation, making the experience enjoyable and low stress. However, in real life, the consequences of our actions are far more permanent. Mistakes can't simply be undone with the press of a button. They carry weight, shaping our futures and, in many cases, affecting those around us. The choices we make can lead to outcomes that are not easily reversible, and these outcomes often have long-term implications that ripple through different aspects of our lives. Consider the financial decisions we make. In a game, if you spend your in-game currency on the wrong item or make a poor investment, it's a temporary setback. You can earn more money through completing more quests or missions, and eventually your mistake is corrected without any lasting impact. In real life, financial missteps can have much more significant consequences. For example, making a poor investment in the stock market or taking on too much debt can lead to years of financial hardship. The stress and burden of debt can limit one's opportunities, affecting everything from career choices to personal relationships. Unlike in games, where earning money is often a matter of time and effort, real-life financial mistakes can take years to recover from, and the emotional toll they take can be profound. Certain mistakes in life are truly irreversible. One of the starkest examples is in health. In many video games, characters have health points, and no matter how close they come to defeat, they can be revived with the right potion or a trip to the nearest healer. Even in games where death is a feature, such as those with permadeath mechanics, players can simply start over. But in real life, the consequences of neglecting one's health are permanent. Once certain damage is done to the body, it cannot be undone. For example, excessive smoking, drinking, or neglecting physical health can lead to chronic illnesses such as heart disease, cancer, or diabetes. These conditions don't come with a restart button. They are the result of cumulative choices, and once they develop, the impact on a person's quality of life is often profound and irreversible. The relationships we build in life are far more delicate than those in games. In a multiplayer game, if you argue with a teammate or make a poor decision that results in a loss, it might cause temporary friction, but it's unlikely to have a lasting impact. You can either patch things up or find new people to play with in the next round. In real life, however, the bonds we share with others are far more fragile. If we hurt someone through words, actions, or neglect, it can lead to permanent damage to the relationship. Apologies might help, but some wounds don't fully heal. Relationships can end, trust can be broken, and the pain of a lost friendship or a damaged family bond can last a lifetime. Unlike in games, where every round is a fresh start, real-life relationships require consistent care and attention. Once damaged, they may never be the same again. Education and career choices are another area where the consequences of decisions in life are more lasting than in games. In a game, you can choose to switch characters, change your skills, or even start over with a new class if your initial choices don't suit your playstyle. There's often little consequence to trying again. But in real life, the paths we choose in our education and careers have long-lasting implications. Choosing the wrong major in college or pursuing a career that doesn't align with one's strengths or passions can lead to years of frustration, regret, and even financial strain. While it's possible to change careers or go back to school later in life, the cost in terms of time, money, and energy can be significant. Unlike in games, where the cost of starting over is minimal, in life, the consequences of choosing the wrong path can follow us for years, limiting our opportunities and impacting our overall happiness. In some cases, the consequences of real-life decisions can be life-altering. Consider the legal system, where certain actions can lead to imprisonment, fines, or a permanent criminal record. In a game, committing an in-game crime often results in little more than a loss of points or a short penalty. But in real life, the legal and social consequences of breaking the law can be devastating. A criminal record can limit a person's ability to find employment, secure housing, or even travel. The mistakes made in a moment of poor judgment can have lasting effects that are impossible to undo. Life doesn't offer the same flexibility as games, where actions are easily forgiven and forgotten. In reality, every decision has the potential to alter the course of our lives in ways that can't be reversed. Even on a day-to-day level, the decisions we make, big and small, carry more weight in life than in games. Whether it's how we choose to spend our time, how we treat others, or how we approach challenges, the consequences of our actions accumulate over time. In a game, if you waste time wandering aimlessly or making unproductive choices, you can simply reset or try again later. But in life, time is finite. Every moment we waste is a moment we'll never get back. The consequences of procrastination, neglecting responsibilities, or failing to pursue meaningful goals are permanent. Once time is lost, it's gone forever. And there's no way to go back and undo the choices we've made. The permanence of life's consequences makes real life decisions far more significant than those in games. In a game, mistakes are temporary and the stakes are low. But in life, the choices we make have real, lasting implications. Whether it's our health, relationships, career, or personal growth, the consequences of our actions are often irreversible, and they shape the course of our lives in ways that can't be undone. This is why life demands a level of responsibility and mindfulness that games don't. In life, there are no second chances, no resets, and no do-overs. Every decision counts, and the consequences are permanent. In games, the concept of accountability is often fluid, if it exists at all. Players can make mistakes, take risks, or act recklessly without facing any serious or lasting repercussions. If something goes wrong, there is always the option to reload a previous save, respawn, or simply start a new game. The consequences of actions are limited to the digital world, and any penalties are short-lived. But in the real world, accountability is a fundamental part of life, and the consequences of our actions have real and often long-term effects on ourselves and others. We are constantly held accountable for the choices we make, and this responsibility extends into every aspect of our lives, from our personal relationships to our professional lives and even to the broader society. One of the most significant ways in which accountability manifests in real life is through the responsibilities we hold to those around us. In our personal relationships, for example, we are accountable for how we treat the people we care about. Whether it's a family member, a friend, or a romantic partner, our actions can have profound and lasting effects on the well-being of others. In games, interactions with non-playable characters, NPCs, or even other players can be reset or disregarded with little impact. If a player chooses to act selfishly or make decisions that harm others, they can often walk away from the consequences. In real life, however, we cannot escape the accountability that comes with our behavior. The way we communicate, the decisions we make, and the values we uphold all have the power to strengthen or damage relationships. Trust, once broken, is difficult to rebuild, and the emotional harm we inflict on others can linger far beyond the moment. In the workplace, accountability takes on a different but equally important role. In a professional setting, individuals are held accountable for their performance, decisions, and contributions to the team or organization. Unlike in games, where failure may result in a temporary setback or a lower score, in the workplace, failure to meet expectations can lead to serious consequences such as losing a job, damaging one's reputation, or negatively impacting the success of the organization. Employees are expected to take responsibility for their work, meet deadlines, and collaborate effectively with colleagues. When mistakes are made, they can't simply be undone with a quick fix or a reset button. Instead, individuals must own up to their errors, learn from them, and take steps to correct the situation. This level of accountability fosters personal growth and ensures that people are reliable, trustworthy, and capable of contributing to the success of the larger group. Accountability also plays a critical role in leadership. Leaders, whether in business, government, or other areas of life, are responsible for the well-being and success of the people they lead. They are accountable not only for their own actions, but also for the decisions they make on behalf of others. In a game, a leader character might be able to make reckless decisions without facing significant backlash, as the consequences are limited to the game world. However, in real life, poor leadership can have devastating consequences. A leader's decisions can affect the livelihoods of employees, the direction of a company, or even the fate of a nation. When leaders fail to act with accountability, the results can include financial ruin, loss of trust, or widespread harm to communities. This is why responsible leadership requires a deep sense of accountability and a willingness to own the outcomes of one's decisions, whether they are positive or negative. In addition to personal and professional spheres, accountability also extends to the broader societal level. As members of a community, we are accountable for how our actions affect the world around us. This includes everything from following laws and regulations to considering the environmental impact of our lifestyle choices. In a game, the player may wreak havoc in a virtual city or engage in behavior that has no lasting effect on the game world. But in reality, every action we take has a ripple effect. Littering, wasting resources, or ignoring social norms may seem like small actions, but when multiplied across millions of people, they contribute to larger societal problems such as pollution, resource depletion, and the erosion of trust within communities. Real-life accountability requires that we consider the long-term impact of our actions on the environment, society, and future generations. One of the key challenges of accountability in real life is that it is often unavoidable. In games, if the consequences of a player's actions become too difficult or unpleasant to deal with, they can simply turn off the game or start over. In contrast, real life doesn't offer such easy escapes. When we make poor choices, we must face the consequences, whether it's dealing with the fallout from a bad decision at work, repairing a damaged relationship, or making amends for breaking the law. This can be difficult and uncomfortable, but it is also a necessary part of personal growth and maturity. Being accountable means owning up to our mistakes, learning from them, and making a conscious effort to improve. It is through this process of accountability that we become more responsible, reliable, and ethical individuals. Accountability also has a strong moral dimension. In real life, we are accountable not only to the rules and expectations set by others, but also to our own moral compass. Unlike games, where moral choices are often simplified into good or bad options with clear outcomes, real life is filled with complex ethical dilemmas that don't always have clear answers. We are accountable for the choices we make in these situations, and the decisions we make can define who we are as individuals. Whether it's standing up for what's right, even when it's difficult, or taking responsibility for a mistake, accountability is tied to our sense of integrity and character. When we act with accountability, we demonstrate our commitment to living according to our values and principles, even when no one else is watching. Another aspect of accountability that is unique to real life is the idea of long-term consequences. In games, the player's actions are often contained within a single play session or story arc. The decisions made in one game may not carry over into the next, allowing for a clean slate. However, in real life, the choices we make can have lasting effects that follow us for years, or even a lifetime. For example, decisions related to education, career, and relationships often shape the trajectory of our lives in ways that can't easily be changed. We are accountable for these decisions, and while we can always make new choices and change direction, the impact of our past actions remains. This long-term accountability encourages us to think carefully about the decisions we make, understanding that they have the power to shape our futures. Accountability in real life is about taking ownership of our actions and recognizing the impact they have on the world around us. It is about being responsible for the choices we make, both big and small, and understanding that those choices come with consequences that we must face. Whether in our personal lives, our careers, or our role in society, accountability is a constant and inescapable part of life. Unlike in games, where actions are often inconsequential and reversible, real life demands that we be accountable for every decision we make, knowing that the effects of those decisions are real, lasting, and impactful. In games, the concept of extra lives and the ability to replay levels offers players a safety net. A character can die or fail a mission, but the player is usually given another chance to try again, often without any significant penalty. This structure allows for a trial and error approach, where failure is not final and mistakes can be easily corrected. However, in real life, the stakes are much higher because there are no extra lives, and most situations do not offer the chance to simply start over. Every decision we make, every action we take is a step forward in time, and there is no rewinding the clock. This reality brings with it a sense of urgency, responsibility, and the need for thoughtful, deliberate choices. The absence of extra lives in real life means that we must approach each decision with greater care and consideration. While games often encourage players to take risks without fear of lasting consequences, life demands that we weigh the potential outcomes of our actions. A single choice can have far-reaching implications, and the opportunity to undo a mistake may not present itself. This is particularly true in major life decisions, such as choosing a career path, deciding to marry, or starting a family. These decisions can shape the course of our lives in significant ways, and once made, they are difficult, if not impossible, to reverse. Unlike in a game where a player can restart a level or use a save point to try again, in real life, our choices often carry permanent consequences. This reality can be both daunting and empowering. On the one hand, it forces us to confront the fact that we only get one shot at certain experiences. There is no reset button for a failed relationship, no extra life for missed opportunities, and no replay for the time we have lost. This can create a sense of pressure, especially when faced with difficult decisions or uncertain outcomes. We may feel the weight of knowing that our choices are final and that we must live with the results. However, this understanding can also inspire us to live more intentionally, making the most of each moment and opportunity. Recognizing that there are no second chances in many areas of life pushes us to be more thoughtful, careful, and proactive in how we approach challenges and decisions. For example, the idea of no replays is particularly relevant when considering the passage of time. In games, time is often irrelevant. A player can pause the game, take breaks, or replay sections at their convenience. But in real life, time moves in one direction, and we cannot pause or rewind it. Each day that passes is gone forever, and how we choose to spend our time is a decision that we cannot take back. This is why time management and prioritization are so important in life. The hours, days, and years we spend on our career, education, relationships, and personal growth are investments in our future. Wasting time on trivial pursuits, procrastination, or neglecting important responsibilities is a luxury we cannot afford, because there is no way to reclaim lost time. The finality of our actions means that we must take responsibility for our mistakes. In games, failure is often treated as a learning experience with little to no long-term impact. A player can retry a difficult level or correct a mistake by starting over. However, in life, failure carries real consequences. Whether it's a failed business, a broken relationship, or a missed opportunity, the impact of failure is often lasting and cannot be undone by simply trying again. This doesn't mean that failure is the end of the road. People can learn from their mistakes, grow, and move forward. But it does mean that we must be prepared to face the consequences of our actions, and that the path to recovery or redemption is often much longer and more difficult than it would be in a game. There is no quick reset or second chance that erases the past. We must carry our experiences with us and learn how to move forward despite them. The idea that there are no replays also applies to the relationships we build with others. In games, interactions with characters can often be reset or replayed, allowing the player to explore different outcomes without any real commitment. But in real life, our relationships are complex and require consistent effort, care, and attention. There are no do-overs when it comes to how we treat the people in our lives. If we hurt someone, neglect a friendship, or take someone for granted, the damage done cannot simply be erased. Rebuilding trust and repairing relationships can be a long and challenging process, and in some cases it may not be possible at all. This reality reminds us to be mindful of how we treat others and to value the relationships we have, knowing that we cannot simply press a button to undo our mistakes. The finality of actions applies to our broader impact on the world. In games, players can experiment with different strategies, test the limits of the game world, and even engage in destructive behavior without any real-world consequences. But in life, our actions, whether large or small, have a lasting impact on the world around us. From the choices we make in our careers to how we interact with the environment, everything we do leaves a mark. We cannot undo environmental damage, repair social harm, or reverse the effects of poor leadership with the ease that we can in a game. Our actions ripple outward, affecting others and shaping the world we live in. This understanding of cause and effect reminds us that we must act with integrity and foresight, knowing that we only have one chance to make a positive impact. The absence of extra lives in real life also underscores the importance of resilience. In games, failure is often followed by a quick restart, allowing the player to try again without any emotional, psychological burden. But in real life, failure can be devastating, and the path to recovery is often long and difficult. There are no shortcuts or easy fixes. Instead, resilience, the ability to bounce back from failure and keep moving forward, is a vital skill. Life will inevitably throw challenges and setbacks our way, and without the option of replaying or resetting the situation, we must learn to adapt, persevere, and find ways to overcome adversity. This resilience is what allows us to grow, learn from our experiences, and ultimately succeed in the face of difficulty. The lack of replays in life highlights the importance of mindfulness and presence. In games, players can rush through levels or skip cutscenes, knowing that they can always go back and experience the content later. But in life, each moment is unique and cannot be repeated. Whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing a passion, or simply enjoying a quiet moment, the experiences we have are fleeting and precious. Being present in each moment, fully engaged and mindful of what we are experiencing, is essential to living a fulfilling life. There are no second chances to relive a moment, so we must make the most of the time we have, appreciating the here and now, instead of constantly looking ahead to the next level or replay. In life, much like in games, success is often not achieved overnight. But unlike games where a player can rely on specific skills, cheats, or shortcuts to move ahead, real life demands persistence and patience. The path to achievement in the real world is frequently long, unpredictable, and filled with obstacles. It requires continuous effort, resilience in the face of failure, and the willingness to keep moving forward, even when progress seems slow. While games often reward players with immediate feedback points, levels, and accolades, real-life rewards are often delayed, requiring a greater degree of commitment and long-term thinking. Persistence is the ability to stick with something despite difficulties or delays in achieving success. In life, obstacles are inevitable, and challenges will arise that may make us question our abilities or the path we have chosen. It is easy to feel disheartened when things do not go according to plan, especially in a world where instant gratification is increasingly the norm. But the reality is that most meaningful achievements take time, whether it's mastering a new skill, building a career, or pursuing personal goals. Persistence, therefore, is key to overcoming the inevitable setbacks and difficulties along the way. Many people give up on their goals too early because they expect quick results. This mindset often stems from a culture that celebrates overnight success stories and emphasizes quick wins. However, what is often not visible in these stories is the years of hard work, practice, and failures that came before the moment of success. For example, athletes, entrepreneurs, artists, and scientists who achieve great things almost always spend years honing their craft, facing numerous setbacks, and persisting through moments of doubt. The road to success is rarely linear, and it often involves a series of small, incremental steps that accumulate over time. Patience plays a critical role in this process. It is the ability to tolerate delay without becoming frustrated or anxious. Patience allows us to stay focused on our long-term goals, even when progress seems slow or obstacles appear insurmountable. It helps us manage the emotional ups and downs that come with pursuing challenging endeavors. In a world that values speed and efficiency, patience is often seen as a passive quality, but in reality it is an active, deliberate practice. It requires us to trust in the process, even when the results are not immediately visible. One of the most important lessons that persistence and patience teach us is that failure is not the end of the road. In fact, failure is often a critical component of success. Every time we fail, we learn something valuable about what does not work, and we have the opportunity to adjust our approach. In games, failure is often a temporary setback that can be overcome by retrying a level or using a different strategy. In life, failure is much the same. It is a chance to learn, grow, and improve. The key difference is that in life, bouncing back from failure requires resilience and the ability to keep going despite setbacks. It is persistence and patience that allow us to view failure not as a stopping point, but as a necessary step on the path to success. The value of persistence can be seen in many areas of life. Take education, for example. Learning a new subject or mastering a skill requires time and effort. It is rare for anyone to fully understand a complex topic after a single lesson or attempt. The process of learning involves making mistakes, practicing repeatedly, and gradually improving over time. Students who are persistent in their studies, even when the material is challenging, are more likely to succeed in the long run. Similarly, professionals who are persistent in their careers, continuously seeking out new opportunities, learning from their experiences, and staying committed to their goals are more likely to achieve success. In relationships, persistence and patience are equally important. Building strong, lasting relationships takes time and effort. It requires consistent communication, understanding, and compromise. There will be moments of conflict or misunderstanding, but the willingness to work through these challenges and invest in the relationship is what leads to deep, meaningful connections. Relationships that are abandoned at the first sign of difficulty often do not have the chance to grow and flourish. Patience allows us to see beyond the immediate challenges and recognize the long-term potential of a relationship, while persistence helps us stay committed to working through difficulties. In the context of personal growth, persistence and patience are essential for achieving self-improvement. Whether it's developing a new habit, overcoming a personal limitation, or pursuing a goal, personal growth is a gradual process. It often involves taking small, consistent steps over a long period of time. There will be moments of frustration, setbacks, and times when it feels like no progress is being made. However, those who are patient with themselves and persistent in their efforts are more likely to achieve lasting change. The process of personal growth is not always easy, but it is through persistence and patience that real transformation occurs. Another important aspect of persistence and patience is the ability to stay motivated, even when the rewards are not immediately apparent. In games, players are often motivated by immediate feedback. They can see their progress through points, levels, and achievements. In life, progress is often more subtle and difficult to measure. This can make it challenging to stay motivated, especially when the goal feels distant or unattainable. However, those who are able to maintain their motivation by focusing on the bigger picture and the long-term rewards are more likely to succeed. This is where patience comes into play. It allows us to endure the waiting period and remain committed to our goals, even when the results are not yet visible. Persistence and patience also teach us the value of process over outcome. In games, the focus is often on reaching the next level or achieving a high score. In life, our goals are important, the process of working toward those goals is where the real value lies. The effort, learning, and growth that occur along the way are what shape us into the people we become. When we focus solely on the outcome, we miss out on the opportunities for growth that the process provides.
Persistence and patience help us appreciate the journey, recognizing that each step, no matter how small, is a valuable part of the overall experience.
Persistence and patience are not just about achieving success, they are about developing the inner strength and resilience needed to navigate the complexities of life. Life is unpredictable, and there will be moments when things do not go as planned. In these moments, it is our ability to remain patient, stay committed to our goals, and persist through challenges that will determine our success. The road to achievement is rarely easy or straightforward, but those who possess the qualities of persistence and patience are better equipped to handle the twists and turns along the way. These qualities allow us to keep going, even when the path ahead is uncertain, and they enable us to achieve our goals in a way that is sustainable and meaningful. Life is far more complex and meaningful than any game. While games may offer entertainment, structure, and the thrill of winning, life is an unpredictable journey filled with real challenges, consequences, and opportunities for growth. Unlike a game, life doesn't come with a reset button or predefined rules that guarantee success. It requires us to take responsibility for our actions, make thoughtful decisions, and learn from both our successes and failures. Life demands persistence and patience, testing our resilience at every turn. Ultimately, it is in embracing these qualities, understanding the depth of our choices, and striving for authentic growth that we can truly live a life of purpose, meaning, and fulfillment. Life may not be a game, but it is the most profound adventure we can embark on, and how we choose to play determines the legacy we leave behind.